Hello people, welcome to the how-tos of BYU. So today we're going to be talking about the 5 study tips that I have for you in order to succeed at BYU. So the first one that I have is for you to use Rate My Professor. So Rate My Professor is an amazing website. A lot of university students use it for their classes before they register. So basically what it is it's a website where students can go on and rate their professors based off of like how hard the class was, what the workload was, what the tests are like, how much time you need to spend outside class. You can even rate the professor based off of how hot they are. So it's just a super helpful website. Before I even begin studying for the class and trying to like take on all of that, I like make sure that the class is going to be good based off of using Rate My Professor. And so that was so helpful for me coming in as a freshman, and I think it would be awesome for you guys to check out as well. My second study tip would be to use your TA's office hours as well as your professor's office hours. Now, the majority of professors and TAs will give like incentives for you to even come to their office because so many students won't even come in, which is kind of sad. So they're super underutilized and they're so effective. You can go in and make sure that you're on track for getting that A, as well as like figuring out what you did wrong on a test, maybe how to study smarter. I don't know, it's just super helpful. And although BYU is a huge university, the professors really do want to get to know you. And so I just like really advocate those hours. So yeah, go to them. My third tip for you is to use tutoring. So tutoring is, normally you have to pay for tutoring for a private tutor at any university, but specifically at BYU, we offer free tutoring. A lot of students don't know this, but if you go onto the YSERV website, yserv.byu.edu, you click on like a programs and they'll have a tutoring program. You'll click on it and then you can like type in what hours you're available, and they'll link you up with a tutor for that specific class that you need help on that has the same hours available. And you guys can just meet up and like discuss and figure out how to really get that A and do well. So that's like my third study tip. My fourth is to set aside time to study. And I know it's college and it's so hard to do that. Believe me, it's rough. But it helps so much to just have that block in your schedule every week. And every day even, just to like set aside time to study. And obviously it will depend upon the class. They say per every like 1 hour that you spend in class, you should be spending 2 hours outside class. I don't know if that's necessarily true per every class that you take. So it sort of just depends. But it's a good thing. And when you're doing that, a couple things that you can do that might be effective is first, like make sure you're creating an environment that is going to be effective for your study session. And so having food and water and making sure your phone's on airplane mode and that you're like mentally prepped, you've gotten enough sleep, etc. Like just be all ready. And the second thing is to make sure that you can, study in study groups or like have a way of studying that's effective for you. Everybody does it differently. I really don't like to study in groups because I don't find them as effective because I struggle like actually studying the material. When I'm in a study group, I tend to just talk. And so, yeah, it doesn't really work for me, but it works for a lot of people. And one thing that I have found super effective with study groups is to be able to teach the information. A lot of your tests that you'll get at BYU are very application-based, meaning you can't just memorize, terms and be good. There are a few classes like that, but I would say the majority are very application-based. And so you need to be able to take a concept and teach it to somebody in the room with you. And that can be like a friend, that can be, a study partner, whatever it may be, but just be prepared to be able to teach them, because in that way you really know if you know the information or not. And because they can tell you where your gaps are, and then you can go back over your notes and fulfill that and fill those gaps up. So that's kind of a big study tip for me. And you can also just note really quick that you can like reserve study rooms in the library, in almost any room on campus. I tend to like just go in like the MARB, which nobody really likes, and so I get a full room to myself with a whiteboard and everything, so I can write out stuff if I need to. But everybody studies in every different place, so it's fine. My last tip for you is to study smarter rather than longer. I kind of talked about how like it's all very application based, and so don't just be like route memorization, right? Like you do different things to really get those concepts down. I came from high school where I was just so used to just like memorizing things and memorizing things, and that was kind of how I did it. And then I came to BYU and it was like, okay, everything's like application, so like good luck. And what was effective for me was just learning how to study smarter and use those syllabus that talks about, like in each class you'll get a syllabus that explains exactly maybe how to do well in that class, but also like, you know, make sure to being able to teach people, make sure you're taking notes, do those simple things, and really understanding those concepts are going to help you a ton. And so those are kind of my top 5 study tips for you guys. I hope that was super helpful. If you have any questions, please feel free to comment or click below, and I can help you out. So I hope that helps, and yeah, good luck this semester, guys.